And we go again. We're back again. This episode is called Memory Lane. Now, all the way through our youths, we've watched the Premier League. I'm 38 now. How old are you?
I'm 33.
33 and Luke?
31.
31. So the last 30 years has been the Premier League years. And through those years, we've divided them up into Premier League eras. And at the moment, we believe that there are 4 eras. 1992 to 2000, 2000 to 2010, 2010 to 2020, and I would say 2020 to present day.
Yeah.
What we're going to do with Stanchion over the course of this first series is every other episode we will do one called Memory Lane, and we are going to make a team of each Premier League era. So to simplify that for you that don't understand, very simply, 1992 to 2000, each episode we will pick a position. This episode will be the goalkeepers, and by the end of this episode, we will have our first position, goalkeeper. And at the end of the first series, we will have our team of 1992 to 2000. Just before we jump in real quickly, Luke, let's start with you. What's your earliest Premier League memory that you can think of?
Now, I got into football a lot later than you two.
Yeah, you were a late bloomer.
So I've got a good in-depth knowledge of probably 2010 onwards is when I really hardcore.
Yeah.
But I've still looked back on the Sky Sports highlights of back in the day.
The classic Premier League years. That's always
the Premier League years is something that I've So I've been there.
Gazza makes sandwiches.
But I'm very mediocre, like Schmeichels, all the big names.
Classics. Yeah.
If I was to say to you, Ed the Hoy.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Certain things go over
but
your head,
this is where you two are going to excel.
Jaskalainen.
Yeah. Jaskalainen I know, but...
So what we're going to do here is I've gone away and done some homework, as all good presenters should do, and I've broken down what I believe are the top 6, okay, with a couple of honourable mentions, but statistically, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I've got statistically the best 6 goalkeepers of 1992 to 2000 in the Premier League.
I've got a few mentions of outside of the Premier League, just to players that I feel that we should mention in that 90s sort of era, and a few stats that actually kind of blew my mind whilst I was doing these this sort of research.
And that's the beauty of football. Things pop up that you forget about. I mean, I remember a goalkeeper called Kevin Hitchcock who played for Chelsea with the auto glass garb on, shall we say. He was a good goalkeeper. And Pavel Srnicek at Newcastle, who we mentioned earlier, similar to the t-shirt that you're wearing.
I will do a
God
little
rest his
browse.
soul, actually.
This is a shirt that me and myself, Luke, used to play for the club Gringos, and our friend Alex Hunt made for us. So I will have a little...
Perfect.
Yeah. I think we only got a season out of it when...
I'm pretty sure we never wore it. It actually never... I don't think it was ever worn, if I'm honest.
Well, I
feel like we had 2.
We did have 2, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we did do a season.
But these are kits that, again, the whole kit we made.
Yeah.
We made it from scratch.
It was based on the 90 goalkeeper.
I'll tell you what I would like. I would like a Stanchion kit. I would.
I believe that's something that we can...
Collaboration. That would be so cool.
Going with the kits, I do have a little quiz for you boys.
Okay.
So what I've done is I have 3 shirts that roll back from the period of 1992 to the current 2000. Okay. What I've done is I have covered the badges. We could get into this quickly before we get onto everything else.
Yeah, let's do it.
So if you look onto your phones now,
okay.
I've sent you 3 kits. Okay, so these kits, if you look, are classics. We're talking horrible colours, horrible patterns. And what I would like you to do is I'd like you to take a look at that first one, the top one.
Yep.
And I would love you to tell me who you believe
Belgium
that is. So you're going to go with Belgium.
I do not have a Solomon colour.
It's like I love the 2D crocodile print on it.
So what you do, if you also take a look at the third
is this an international kit?
They're all international kits.
Okay, I'm going to go Germany for the first.
Yeah, James?
Belgium. Yeah. And then the bottom one, I'm going to go somewhere like Paraguay or Chile,
Okay.
Paraguay, South American.
So if we've got pictures on screen,
Yeah.
I'm going to go, number 1 is Germany, as I said.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Mexico.
Okay.
And number 3, Denmark. Just because of colours I'm going off of.
So just a quick one. The second one, is that international as well?
They're all international.
I could also see the number 3 being England. I could see...
I like what James is doing. He's taking a deep dive into the kids now. Which I don't think I did the same, and it threw me off a little bit because I thought what I was looking at was one thing, and it was not the fucking thing I was looking at.
The Adidas, I think that's a European team. It could be Mexico, but I think it could be someone. I think that could be someone.
You've done well there because I've not looked.
No,
I've not looked.
By Lotto. Okay.
So right, Luke, quickly give me your 3. So you've gone with...
I want to change my mind.
Okay, go quick. Give me your 3. Go. Off the bat. We'll see how close you are.
Yeah, I'll stay Germany.
Yeah.
I'll go Mexico, and I'll go England for...
England?
Yeah.
Wild.
Okay, so the top one I'm going to go with Belgium. That's the first thing that popped out at me immediately.
The colourway.
Yeah, I think it resembles the flag.
Yeah.
I think the second one, I wasn't immediately going to say Mexico, but then when you think about that Mexico shirt, I think that shirt that's similar to the outfield shirt. Which
I can just see curly hair with number 2.
I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go. I was going to say Colombia, but they were Reebok, so I think I might be South America or even Africa. I'm going to go. Do you know what? I'm going to go Nigeria, and then I'm going to go. The bottom one was who I said before, which was who did I say before? Oh my goodness, I can't remember. I can't believe this is going to happen to me. I selected Paraguay.
Okay. So this is when I looked at these 3 kits, I did the same as you, James. I instantly went to colours. And I went, oh, cool, that's a red. Yeah. That could be a XYZ. So I'm going to let you know. Right. So
that's
your first kit that you've got on your screen right there.
Yeah.
Is actually an Argentinian from 1994 World Cup.
What?
Which makes no sense.
No.
Because I'm going to tell you another kit, which when I look at it now and you both look at it, you'll go, that should be probably that. And you'll scroll down to the 3rd kit.
Yep.
That 3rd kit, sorry, James, that is Sweden.
Right.
You were close with Denmark.
You were close with Bavaria.
Yeah. I've gone colours the wrong way around.
And this is why
the goalkeeper never wore the colours.
Never wore the colours. It was always
but the top one's the Belgian flag, and I thought, come on. But what's the middle one, mate?
It's never going to be Mexico because that is the Mexico colours.
Yeah, South America or Africa.
Bulgaria.
Wow. Okay.
Which and this is the thing, the pattern for me, it threw me off. I looked at that and I thought, quick glance, Africa.
I can imagine Nigeria or Ethiopia.
Something along these lines. So after that, 0 for 0.
Well, I think that's an excellent start because it goes to show that the tolerance level here now is a very, very high one. It's a high threshold, difficult question. So let's just get this straight. For the next memory lane, I will grab some.
And these are kits that we could look at.
Or right back players with the face blurred out. Who am I? And we can do all that. So going in first of all. So Premier League 1992 to 2000, dominated by one club for me. Man United, all day. You could argue that Blackburn had a little pitch in, Newcastle had a bit of fun, so did Arsenal towards the end, but it's a Man United decade.
Newcastle didn't really win that much, did they?
They didn't win any much, but they were a massive...
They were up and around.
That's like Arsenal to current day then.
And you going with the Blackburn comment is a little snippet I've got to one side here is everyone forgets about the Tim Flowers winning that Premier League with Blackburn. He's kind of a goalkeeper from the 90s that he gets forgotten about. And probably a lot of those Blackburn players do get forgotten about.
Yeah,
apart from Shearer and, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
well, you got Graham Lasso, David Batty, Gary Flitcroft, Tim Sherwood, Chris Sutton. They were all there.
Classic photo of him holding it up with the little shield.
Went from Blackburn to Man United, and people forget that. But back to it. So dominated by Manchester United, the very first goalkeeper that we've got on the list for this episode, has got to be the one and only Peter Schmeichel. Now, this guy has 128 Premier League clean sheets for United. 128. Now, what's 38? That's about 5-6 seasons worth of clean sheet.
I'll tell you something that's more wild.
Outrageous.
I'll tell you something that is more wild for someone who had such a good record there is he's actually not United's number one record clean sheet keeper.
It's David De Gea.
David De Gea.
Yeah.
True.
Which is wild.
It is. But
then if you look at the trophies,
yeah,
we're talking completely different.
So for basically, he had 42% of his 310 Premier League games were clean sheets. So 128. Nearly half of his games were clean sheets. So it just goes to show, to win the league, you need a good defence. Arsenal fans, take note. Trophies, 1992 to 2000, he won 5 Premier League titles. Accompanying that was 3 FA Cups and, of course, the incredible Champions League.
Yeah. He was treble as well, wasn't he?
He was there for the treble. Yeah, he did. Yeah, and then he went to Portugal and then come back with Aston Villa and then Man City. So why the top 6, we want to ask ourselves? Well, he set the benchmark, really, for me, for Premier League keepers. Consistently in the top 2 for clean sheets each season he was in the league. Okay, I think
every season he played Premier League football,
he was in the top 2 for clean sheets.
Either first or second.
Yeah, apart from the Villa and Man City days, we're talking 92 to 2000 Man United.
United.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, for me, personally, I would put my hat on the complete goalkeeper, undeniable, massive frame. Bellowed orders at his defenders.
Leader as well as...
Born leader. Yeah. For me, that's the first one. So what did Peter Schmeichel mean to you, Lee, growing up?
For me, again, as a Leeds United fan, it was always the United were the rival team. But as everyone knows, for me, I am a football fan as well as a Leeds United fan. So, yeah, I'm going to talk smack about Man United. I'm going to talk smack about certain players. But if you're a fan, you appreciate players.
Yeah.
And for me, Schmeichel, growing up, along with a couple of other people that we're going to mention in the episode, is that he was the best goalkeeper in the world at the time. And he continued to be the best goalkeeper for a good stint of 8 to 9 years. It just happened to be...
What was his reason for leaving? What happened?
That I don't know, and I know who did he play for after? A Man City?
No, he went to Benfica, and I think
straight after United.
Yeah, in the treble winning season, just before Christmas.
So I'll never forget
when he let him go on holiday
City,
for a month.
There's that clip of him and Neville.
But he just to finish the point. Basically, the season that he left, just before Christmas, Alex Ferguson allowed him to go on holiday to Brazil, I think, for 2 to 3 weeks.
Didn't they try and recall him?
Over the Christmas period, the best goalkeeper in the league sat on a beach in Rio. But something happened, and I think it just come to a natural conclusion. Look, he gave 8 years of his life.
Yeah.
He won everything.
Yeah.
So I think he just wanted a change. So for me, Peter Schmeichel, growing up, undeniable.
We think Benfica's a weird move, but Benfica back then...
This is
they're a different team to what Benfica are now.
I think it was a case where United get the goalkeeper out of the club safely without going direct to a rival, for instance. But for me, great. That's number 1 on our list out of the 6.
I will also make a quick side note, and it will just be a couple of seconds or minutes, that he also scored goals.
Yeah.
And this is something that we all forget about. And a little side note I've got here. I've got a goalkeeper.
They're not shots.
No, they're not shots. We're not talking.
You reckon? You reckon he fully meant that?
Volley.
The
volley.
back post volley.
Okay, yeah.
We're talking goals, and I've got a name here that will
But I get what you're saying.
This is someone that everybody who watches football understands and they know, and he's well known for one thing, but he's actually, people forget that he scored goals. So this is a goalkeeper. I'd like James to pronounce it because it was a beautiful pronunciation for me.
So the Colombian, world famous, Ask Jamie Redknapp at Wembley in a friendly against England against Colombia. His name is René Higuita.
So he is known for the classic scorpion kick save off of Jamie Redknapp's free kick into the box, And this is something that I looked into and I thought, he's a classic 90s goalkeeper.
We all know about
him.
He created the scorpion
and this
kick.
is something. But what I was unaware of, and I did a little bit of research, is he played 443 games across his career between the Argentinian league, the Brazilian league. He also made a little stint across to Europe before going back.
Did he?
He actually scored 34 goals.
fuck's sake.
34 goals.
What, on penalties or?
No, free kicks.
Schiller did the same for Paraguay.
Yeah, and this
him?
Wow.
And these are things that, but I think because of his scorpion kick clip, even to this day, he's doing the rounds.
Yeah.
The 34 goals
as
a goalkeeper is forgotten about.
Yeah.
Which blew my mind. And Schmeichel was the like you said, the Villa, the back post volley. I'm pretty sure the ball's been flicked onto him, and he's kind of like scissor kick volleyed it into the top corner. Yeah. Like it's the most wild finish I've ever seen. If your striker's finishing that off, you're going, "Cool, that's fucking mint."
You see Dion Dublin looking back at the.
Yeah. Do you reckon Edison was born in the wrong generation?
No.
Do you not reckon Edison on free kicks and
No. I have seen clips of Edison and he can strike a ball and his penalties.
No goalkeeper is ever as good as Schiller for Paraguay taking free kicks. I implore you to go onto YouTube.
Am I right in saying
Campos?
Campos, the Mexican goalkeeper.
Did he not do big numbers for goals?
I don't think he did as big as what James is saying. And I'm not. When you look at a goalkeeper and if I'm playing against a team and I've just lost a free kick and I'm lining up in the wall and I see the goalkeeper traveling all that way, I'm thinking in my head, you better not fuck this up.
If you hit the ball,
he's putting him in the top corner.
Yeah,
which. Is that an embarrassment to the players that are on outfield players?
When you see Schiller there, right, I have to say him again. Maybe attach a picture in the thing. Like, but this guy was by the end of scoring a 30-yard free kick. Like, it took penalties as well. Mm-hmm. Bend it, top corner, Stanchion in. Yeah. Would just turn around and he didn't really celebrate anymore.
It's because he just sound and he's off. He's running back.
But, so the first goalkeeper that's a great side note for René Higuita. But and imagine that for a changing room with Carlos Valderrama. What a brilliant changing room that would have been to be in. Happy place. But also the second goalkeeper for me, one of the England greats. We know played for Arsenal. Brought in a wonderful ponytail towards the end of his career. But this guy, David Seaman, 1990 to 2003, so he played perfectly over that decade. He had 130 Premier League clean sheets, so 12 less than Peter Schmeichel, across his Arsenal career, but most of them came in the 1990s. So statistically, Schmeichel is better, and I would say bit clear because but Seaman, that's not to be sniffed at. I mean, his clean sheet percentage for 1992 to 2000, 40% of his appearances and not 42%. Now, this is where an argument could get very interesting because Arsenal, up until Arsene Wenger came in, were a top six Premier League team.
100%.
And for him to keep 40%, only 2% less than the great Schmeichel with that defence.
In a shorter period,
that can't be slept on. Now, trophies, he won 2 Premier Leagues. Again, one of them was after the turn of the century. So within that time period, he won 1 Premier League and he won 2 FA Cups. So
I think that's the difference.
Trophies.
The Premier League.
I think if the trophies were reversed on players, I think we talk about David Seaman.
For me, like you said, I think Schmeichel is above on winning trophies.
Especially when we spoke about the vocal, leader side.
The leader side. For me, if I'm a centre-half, as you are, Luke, and you've got Schmeichel behind you, or you've got David Seaman behind you, who are you listening to? If someone's... I'm fucking listening to Schmeichel.
It's not
I've seen clips of him picking blokes up by the throat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm scared of this fella. Yeah. Whereas Schmeichel, with his slick back hair and that ponytail, I'm kind of looking back at him going, he's got nice shampoos, but I'm not afraid of you.
Yeah. He's a friendly guy, isn't he?
Talking about the aggressive side of things, and we're talking about goalkeepers in that decade, Oliver Kahn, for me, is one of the most mental football players I've ever seen.
I'll tell you what Oliver Kahn's done for football is he has created, in my opinion, because I think Oliver Kahn is a great goalkeeper. He was very, very good. And he went under the radar.
He was like, it took away
his actual class. Yeah. But he has created probably one of the best goalkeepers of the 2000s era in Bayern Munich's Neuer.
Yeah.
He created that. I believe that without Oliver Kahn, you don't get the way Neuer plays.
Okay, so if Neuer wouldn't be who
he wouldn't. I don't think he would. He's probably looked at Oliver Kahn and the way Oliver Kahn plays, and he's gone, "I'm going to take your aspect of that."
Neuer did
United
almost
nearly
go
signed him.
to Manchester United.
Yeah.
I was going to say that. Yeah,
Ferguson walked him off the pitch in the Schalke arena.
He was between De Gea at Atletico Madrid.
To him?
Yep.
Yeah,
As in a come on, boy.
He had so it was between De Gea and Neuer. That was
Correct.
That was his option.
Correct. That's right.
Has he slipped there, boys?
The disrespect of David De Gea annoys
wild.
me. And I watched his debut against West Brom, and he was horrific. He got fucking pelted.
Bullied, didn't he? Yeah.
He was terrible. But what a servant he has been to Man United. He never got.
Like
we
you
spoke
said,
earlier about the start.
yeah.
His clean sheets for Man United.
Was spot on. I mean, just quickly back to David Seaman. Although one note on Oliver Kahn, good goalkeeper. But in the biggest game of them all, in the World Cup final, did spill the ball to Ronaldo to score. Just saying. And also, I like seeing him on his back against England in 2001 when Owen scored.
Tell me more.
Well, Owen got a hat-trick. Emil Heskey scored, and so did Steven Gerrard from 35 yards in the Olympic Stadium after Carsten Janker, the wanker, scored for Germany.
Can you remember the song?
Which?
Heskey to Owen to...
I thought you were talking about the Heskey song.
No, I'm on about the 5-1
We won't go into that one.
I'm on about the 5-1 song.
Let's just say it's a very big song. Right, so in terms of...
You're on about the Anton Deck song,
Well, I think obviously going back to David Seaman and incredible big ponytails...
Under every ponytail is an asshole. They say that's what.
Well, I think. Do you know what though? He's probably a really nice guy. I think he's very
everything
calm.
I've seen on interviews.
He helped Gazza out
brilliant.
a lot as well.
He's a top fella.
And Paul Merson. So he's very calm, reliable, dominant in the air, and he's known for his positional sense and distribution, which is funny because I'm sure in 1994 against Deportivo La Coruña he was lobbed from 40 yards, and against Lee Dixon for an incredible own goal as well. So positionally. Was
also
he good?
by
Ask
Ronaldinho.
So, why is he in the top six? I mean, he is a model of consistency. He was the backbone through the George Graham to Wenger transition. Correct. I think that's fair. And he's recognised in the Premier League's Team of the Decade. So Peter Schmeichel wasn't in the Team of the Decade, and David Seaman was. Maybe it was on that 40%, only 2% less.
Do you reckon they're just trying to be techie because everybody just picked Schmeichel?
Yeah.
I think so. We're going to go the next one. My dad used to love this guy. My dad obviously follows Leeds and Rangers and Walsall. So a few, but but bless him, he did always say,
2 teams.
He did like 2 Leeds players. Okay, one was David Batty, and the other one was Nigel Martyn, third on the list. I thought he was really good. England understudy for about 10 years.
He kind of sat on the bench. Didn't he?
But he was reliable.
He was always that number 2.
So he actually kept. Here we go. 137 Premier League clean sheets. Okay, now that was with Crystal Palace, Leeds and Everton, and he was only active for 1996 to 2000 with Leeds.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where he was really made. I mean, the notable season was 96 to 97 with Leeds. He got 19 clean sheets, second only to Peter Schmeichel. But Schmeichel got 142, Seaman got 140, Nigel Martyn actually got 137 clean sheets. His style was a bit different, more workmanlike than the beautiful, crisp, loving palms away by Seaman and the aggression of Schmeichel. This guy was more workman. He was a great shot stopper, especially from long range, and he had really good reflexes.
Some of the saves, as like I said, as a Leeds United fan growing up, watching him play through those Champions League sort of years, I kind of watching him in the Prem. Everyone knows that the European stature is different. When you play European football, Champions League, at the time, the UEFA Cup, it was called, it was different. So, you had teams playing that tiki-taka football and trying to get quite close to the goal, whereas I think that's where someone like Schmeichel would come into play with his big stance, whereas actually Nigel Martyn was more of, like you said, a shot stopper. And in the Prem, it was perfect. If someone's taking those long ranges, and at the time we had the down of the saves of Nigel Martyn, and Ferdinand's come in and got rid of it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't It wasn't.
On a bad day, Lucas Radebe.
Oh yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Woodgate.
Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah.
Where it didn't kind of make a difference. Whereas the Schmeichels, where United used to play that higher line, Schmeichel came into his element there when he was his big presence sort of thing. So, like you just said, they're kind of completely different. We're talking completely different goalkeepers.
It's no different to now.
No, it's the same now.
And the decade before when
same
Liverpool
now.
signed Mignolet, when he was fantastic for Sunderland, they signed him. He didn't succeed at Liverpool because he was the wrong type of goalkeeper.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like James just
should have been in this decade.
Yeah.
Mignolet.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I think, and like James just said then, Martin was also number 2 to fucking David Seaman for the England setup.
And also,
it's not going to work. It's unfortunate.
But it's no disrespect, but they've got their man.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You've got to do a lot to get it. No different to Pickford at the moment.
Pickford,
We've got our man.
He's got our man. We've got good number twos.
Ramsdale, you're going to have to do a lot.
But they're just not going to get a sniff.
But you'd have to do something incredible to
Who
do it.
I'm pretty sure I've just seen that a 31-year-old goalkeeper has just made his appearance internationally because who is it? Is it the German goal? Who's the German goalkeeper?
Kevin Trapp.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's just made his 3rd appearance on the international stage purely to Stegen. He's played.
Really?
He's literally
has had injuries.
Because he's been because
Ter Stegen is a massive caliber of goalkeeper.
Yeah,
Mike.
but he hasn't played nowhere near as many international games.
Yeah.
It's been Neuer.
What about Ortega? Has he played?
Ortega's been the same. The guy from Mexico.
Yeah.
He's played so many games for Mexico.
Guillermo Ochoa.
And the number 2, I'm pretty sure he was the Swansea goalkeeper. Has now just got an appearance for Mexico.
Do you remember Michel Vorm for Holland?
There you go, yeah.
But just a quick one, just very quickly, back to Simon Mignolet, actually saved a penalty on his debut at Anfield. But it all went wrong. So after that, we've got obviously Nigel Martyn. Clearly, he's not as decorated as Peter Schmeichel or David Seaman, but statistically, he's actually one of the very best. I mean, he's often ranked as one of the most underrated Premier League goalkeepers, and I think that's fair. If you had an underrated 11, that's your goalkeeper. He carried, mid-table teams, really. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Leeds were before the big money. Let's be brutally honest. We had David Hopkin in the middle of the midfield.
Great player.
Yeah. To you, but ultimately, I think let's be honest, and when you had Eric Bakker and Stephen McPhail,
So are you telling me that Crystal Palace have forever been a mid-table team?
Wow,
seems to be that way.
Well, they were in the Championship because there was a player when I followed Wolves when I was very young. Chris Armstrong or Alan Armstrong, whoever, I was a striker for Palace. Always kept bloody knocking him out the bloody playoffs.
Did he then? And he ended his career with Everton in the Premier League.
I think
he didn't go elsewhere, did he?
No. So 3-club man. Fair play.
3-club man.
The next one you mentioned him earlier.
Yeah.
Timothy Flowers played at Southampton and Blackburn, followed the same career path as Alan Shearer.
There was a lot of fucking sexy hair going on back then. We're talking some
Well, you haven't even mentioned Ian Walker yet.
Well, this is what I mean. Some of these boys and their hair.
Ian Walker, Christ,
There's got to be out there some pretty good L'Oreal adverts of just goalkeepers. Yeah. No one else. Pure
Ian Walker was the one. I remember
there was no wash and go.
Well, David Ginola was David Ginola.
Yeah.
I remember him looking at my dad.
My dad
used to because you are worth it.
Yeah, worth it.
Ian Walker. Yeah, that's right. But absolutely, Ian Walker, typical Tottenham, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Flash, we're the bollocks. 1-0. Tim Flowers, 1984 to 2003 years active. He had 107 Premier League.
That's a stint, mind.
It's a stint, but there's been a big drop now from the big three. Yeah. Okay, so obviously 1994 to 95, he was a key figure in that Blackburn Rovers winning team under Kenny Dalglish for their title run. He kept 15 clean sheets that season. He had very strong hands, very brave, so he had a good fist on him. Very brave and excellent in clear one-on-one situations. Why was he in the top 6, do we think? Well, statistically, he is. That's why he's in the top 6, but also why is he in the top 6? It's because obviously he's central really to Blackburn's title winning thing of that decade. There was only 3 clubs that actually won the bloody thing.
And I think
so he's got to be in there.
I also think that it could have been any goalie at that Blackburn squad. Like we said, he's not a standout goalkeeper in this the numbers that we've got and the players that we've got. But what he has got he's got that Premier League title. He's got a Premier League title, and that's a big thing. It is a big thing. Especially like James just said, at a point where realistically it was between 3 teams.
Yeah.
But for Blackburn to then creep into that, to get one, you've kind of got to put him in there.
I think Jack's money helped Blackburn, and obviously it fell apart when they went to Europe, and then it just completely capitulated. But ultimately, let's be honest, Blackburn were promoted a couple of seasons before they won the Premier League as well.
Was it not it wasn't the season before?
I don't think
it was
no,
the
they
one
were knocked
before.
on the door, and then for a good 2 or 3 years it was Man U, Blackburn,
and they spent some money, mate.
Yeah.
And then it was Man U, Newcastle, and then it was Man U, Arsenal, then Man U, Chelsea under Mourinho. But the next one I'd say, so Tim Flowers, he's in there. But I think, to be honest with you, I think the next player deserves his spot in here, but really annoyed me later on in his career. As an England fan, he really, really angered me with a match away against, I think it was Denmark or Holland, and I can't forgive him for it. And I'll tell you about that later. But number 5 on the list, played for 3-4 clubs in the Premier League, David James. Okay.
He is also well known as being a striker.
I thought he was going to say a stripper then. I was going to go...
When he got subbed on... Do you know...
He got subbed on as a striker.
If I'm on that bench and I'm seeing a goalkeeper, as a striker, I'm seeing a goalkeeper, I'm gone.
You're fucking fuming, mate.
I'm gone. I'm not interested in playing another game. No. If you're putting a goal... I understand what he was trying to do.
And if you're unaware of who we're on about, before we interrupted James, we're actually talking about David James.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of clean sheets, up until the year 2000, so he was active from 1992. Liverpool come through, had a real good chance there. He actually only got 80 clean sheets by the year 2000. By the end of his career, I think he was that's a proper late bloomer because he had 169 by the end.
I'm going to put it out there early doors, and like I said, this is not my era of football.
Okay.
I think David James is overrated.
I agree.
And I don't know whether that's because I come into football towards the latter end of his career.
David James is always
I never saw as much as everybody.
He was always chasing the asses of better goalkeepers.
Yeah.
And this is why I think that, like we said,
he is a name that always gets mentioned.
We've got to honour him as a goalkeeper. He was a good goalkeeper. He played for some good clubs at some good times at the same time.
He played in the Portsmouth
But
Renaissance.
I also think he was a bit of a fucking laughing stock.
He was a weirdo.
Well, I'm going to tell you why.
When you're grabbing a ball and sniffing it in front of a camera, what the fuck do you expect to happen?
And should we talk about the hair?
Do you know what I mean?
Hair. We've had the fucking cornrows. We've had the fucking
You can't
Craig
be
David.
doing that as a goalkeeper.
But we've had the
cornrows.
cornrows.
It goes back to what we said earlier. They're all fucking weird.
They are.
But this one is really weird. We've had the fucking Superman. We've had the afro. We've had the bleached afro. We've had the cornrows. We've had the Craig David. We've had the fucking scissor cop. We've had everything.
On the coach towards a game, the goalkeeper sat at the front next to the driver. They are outcasts.
Fucking strange.
Well, do you want me to summarise David James, right? Really good youth, got 18 clean sheets in his breakthrough real season for Liverpool, 94, 95 or 95, 96. 18 clean sheets, and then it started to go wrong because he made some absolutely horrendous howlers, which resulted in the nickname being given to him called Calamity James. And I mean, that is the English Premier League media.
I didn't expect you
there.
to agree with me because I say he was overrated, but like I said, I watched the latter end of his career.
Yeah.
So you don't have to agree with me.
What you would have seen is the shit.
Yeah,
you would have seen the joke.
You two can hype him up because we're not here to make enemies. But fuck David James.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was that fucking good.
I'm going to be honest with you. I actually think he was better as he got older. I think David James when he was young, I do. I think he done well in the Portsmouth Renaissance under Harry Redknapp. I thought he was excellent there. He tried to rebuild at Villa, then went to Portsmouth. But the reason why I'm angry with him, I'm really, really angry with him even today. We lost a match. I think it was a friendly or a qualifier away in Holland or Denmark. And I'll get it up in a minute while we have a debate. He had a nightmare and he come out to the press, fair play to him. He come out and he owned it and he said, and I quote, "I was underprepared for this match. I'm sorry. How dare you turn up for England duty and be underprepared for a match?" That's unacceptable.
I'll tell you one thing I've noticed over listening to a lot of podcasts and listening to David James on a lot of shows is he fucking loves the piss.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't shock me.
That could be part of it.
It wouldn't shock me that in those 90s, at the latter end stages of his career, he was just on the boost.
Well, he thinks he's a scholar. He thinks he's like into art and stuff like this.
But this is what I'm saying. And goalkeepers can't have personalities. Like they can't. It doesn't suit them.
No,
Do you understand?
I
know what you're saying.
If you're a good, if you're a Gazza and you're scoring goals, fair enough. Go on the piss. We'll love you. Georgie Best. Jack Grealish currently, like.
So what you're saying is,
you can't do it as a goalkeeper. No,
as a goalie,
be a boring cunt.
Shut the fuck up.
To be the best, or if you're going to be, or play in South America like René Higuita. Yeah, or Philip Chilavert, someone like that. So, that's David James. I think that's quite clear. He hasn't even made the squad. So, obviously, the next one, right, really, really good goalkeeper. Wales legend. I never forget this guy having a moustache thicker than a bush. Yeah, this guy's belly was bigger than a keg. He was, clear injuries at the end of his career. And I'll never forget Michael Owen, when he burst onto the scene, Michael Owen, at the turn of the century.
Burst onto the scene.
You know what I'm going to bring up, don't you?
I know exactly.
So Michael Owen had a Michael Owen like soccer skill sort of video VHS out at the time. And it was him sponsored by Umbro. Completely decked out, and he was playing against the kids of tomorrow.
Well done,
and
Michael.
it was held, and it was held at Stoke City's ground. Michael Owen, probably the Ballon d'Or winner, running at a 13-year-old goal, curls at top corner and runs off celebrating. And Neville Southall, who's teaching the goalkeeper, turns around and says, "Well done." He's 16.
He's 13 or something.
Something
Well,
silly
Michael,
like
he's 13 or something.
And then Owen runs off and
it
goes,
in the comments. How old was he?
How old was that guy? The one that had the do you remember that bully game for PS2?
All I know,
He looked like him.
I'm pretty
No
sure
matter-
he had 4 or 5
no
shots.
matter what the age
tucked
is,
him in.
Soccer AM,
They would have
great age.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of your comment, so Neville Southall, okay, so let's continue this debate about him. Okay, he played for Everton. Okay, he played for Everton now from 1981 to 1998, but in the Premier League he played 92 to 97. Okay, I don't know why it says on my notes there up to 1998 because Everton haven't been relegated, been bloody close a few times. Clean sheets, he got 62. Okay, most of that was in his prime, which was pre-1992. He played in that Everton team, I believe, that actually won the top division in the late 80s.
Yeah.
So you could argue he's a league winner.
He's a league winner.
And just the same as Schmeichel and Seaman, he is a league winner, whether it's a Premier League or whatever.
And flowers.
But having said that, this is a 92 to 2000. So his style, I mean, look, he's just a frame. As far as like I said, I suppose when he was younger, he may have been wonderful reflex, but I remember him as he was getting on, mate. He must have been about 40 whenever I seen him in the mid-90s. I mean, his peak was the 1980s. He was still among the best in the early Premier League years. I mean, giving Everton clear stability and leadership. He represented the bridge between the old First Division and the rebirth of the English top division when it was rebranded into the Premier League. He's one of those crossover players, like Mark Hughes.
Yeah.
Like Brian Robson. Yeah, these guys here. He was one of those people that crossed over.
I also think that is why he probably fizzled out quickly when the Premier League changed over.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about, it was Division 1. It was probably not the peaks. We're talking when the money and the media got hold of the Premier League, it changed the whole outcome of the way players were, the way players looked, the way players ate, the way players played.
Yeah. I think Wenger had a lot to do with that as well.
And I think he was the last sort of those sort of keepers and players to come from the First Division to the Premier League. Yeah. You look at now the stature of goalkeepers. I reckon that they could be physically, along with Olympic swimmers, in the best sort of shape when it comes to aesthetic.
Well, they end up joining in pre-season runs.
And this is what I mean, This wouldn't... If we're talking like the period we're talking between the 90s to the 2000s, your goalies ain't joining in pre-season.
No.
They're there to save shots.
But I think one goalie that could have made the transitions from the next era of the Premier League, and we'll talk about him, would have been Fabien Barthez. And I think he could have made that transition.
And he is actually one of the players I've got on the bottom of my notes. So obviously we're talking now the early 90s to 2000s.
Where was
everybody?
Barthez?
So this
Monaco.
Everybody's going to talk about Barthez, and they're going to go, "Well, he was in the 2000s."
That's not his era, is it?
But what people forget about players before they go to big clubs.
Yeah.
Barthez made his name at Monaco and Marseille.
Yeah.
At the time,
Marseille.
these were two big clubs, and they were doing bits on the European stage.
Smoked fags as well,
And
by
this
the way,
is
through his
a
career.
lot of those European players.
Especially in Italy, like that was most of them.
But what happened is that he kind of made his name when he went to Man United. At the time he went to Man United, an already established big club, is when he started to make his name, which was in the 2000s. But what you do need to do is go back to the 90s, 98, 97, and go, actually, well, Barthez was already an elite name.
Yeah.
And that's
He
like
had
you
some
just
howlers
said.
against Arsenal. Remember when he pulled up his shorts
on the free kick.
Yeah. So obviously, why have we selected these 6? Well, I've written down in my notes that they are statistically dominant in terms of clean sheets, sheer consistency, longevity, and I think of general historical importance. So just to summarise, we've got Peter Schmeichel, David Seaman, Nigel Martyn, Tim Flowers, David James, Neville Southall. We could bring in 2 others, Mark Bosnich. You know, Ian Walker. Shea Given, I would say, is in the next era.
Definitely next era.
If there's any goalies that you believe that we have missed out, let us know. Drop it in
Honourable
the
mentions. This guy, I always used to get him in the bloody sticker albums, right? Because always the same, man. It used to be Sanderson on the front of the kit, and it was Southampton used to share their. I shared that used to say the same kit sponsor, same kit manufacturer, just different colours. Instead of blue and white stripes, it was red and blue stripes. Southampton and Sheffield Wednesday. Look it up in the old Merlin's Premier League. Their kits are the same, just different colours. Kevin Pressman, again, this guy, he got 58 Premier League clean sheets, similar to Neville Southall, played 200 appearances. His style was an old school keeper, massive left foot, could probably just launch it into orbit, that ball down there. Big frame. Ed De Hoy, this guy was the man, I believe, that the film directors in Hollywood should have approached. And I'm going to tell you why.
Made a movie about him, yeah.
Well, I just think he could, his look, he could pull off an old school professor, a porn star from the 1980s. He could have been a fucking, you know, a gardener in a program, a chef. It could have been, you know, when you look at him, right, you bring a picture up on TikTok when this goes out, Ed De Hoy, that face could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
Really good goalkeeper for Chelsea. Dutchman, underrated. He wasn't there for long. He kept 43 Premier League clean sheets. He was good at the turn of the century. He qualifies 1999 to 2000. He actually got 16 clean sheets, which is joint top of the league for that season. He was very tall, commanding Dutch goalkeeper, known for his sharp reflexes. Very good, very rangy goalkeeper. And he anchored Chelsea's defence during their late 90s revival under Gianluca Vialli in the days of when they signed Zola. And if it would have worked under Casiraghi due to the injury at Villa, that's another story.
Team, mate.
Unbelievable. Next one we mentioned in Mark Bosnich, left Villa to go to United. Left United under a bit of a cloud due to, was it a drug issue?
It was all a bit naughty. Everyone, it was all kind of like shied over a little bit, actually.
And another one I loved this goalkeeper. After Pavel Cernacek, I think they were there at the same time, and Pavel Cernacek is, you know, passed on now. A great. I remember him from my youth with that sort of top there with the Newcastle Adidas. Shaka Hislop.
Why do all goalies
he's done well
have
at West Ham,
fucking
man.
wild names?
Yeah.
They don't just have basic, like,
Much
apart
like,
from...
morning,
like,
Shaka.
Yeah, exactly. Right, Shaka, 2 sugars, bud. Do you want a cup of tea? Like,
You know, unbelievable.
Good name, though. Good name.
Shaka Hislop, he actually played in goal for Trinidad and Tobago with he played in that team with like Kenwyn Jones and Dwight York against England in the World Cup 2006. If it's wrong, I'm sure someone's going to get me in the comments. But in terms of Shaka Hislop, ask Stephen Gerrard about him because he scored. He owned him in the FA Cup final for West Ham Liverpool. However, my dad loved him, and so did I for that. Very athletic, good reflexes, really popular goalkeeper and very reliable. The other one for me, 1999 to 2001, Sander Westerveld for Liverpool. Now, a lot of people can say, well, he was fucking
what the
shit.
fuck? Why have they got wild names? Another wild
Sander
name.
Westerveld's son's actually a good goalkeeper who actually plays in the Dutch Premier League.
What, right now, as we talk?
PSV. I believe he plays with PSV. So obviously, I think he might be number 1 or 2. Yeah, you know,
so he's in and around the professional
100%.
setup,
Had a bad injury the other year, but he's there or thereabouts. And he was one of the very first big foreign goalkeepers to come to the Premier League. I remember him because he had a fight with Steve McManaman, I think it was, or Jason McAteer with his own player. He had a fight with one of them.
Is this at a training ground or
no,
on the pitch?
Yeah, and I think his old record was quite good. He came in for just £4 million. He did really well, and I think think he's worth
£4 million is a lot then.
That would have been a lot of money back then. That would have been a lot.
Okay, now
of
it would have been about 20 million. Now,
that's a good fee.
But I think it's let's be honest. Man United signed Massimo Tayabi for 4.4 million.
Yeah, but they make out that they never spent money back in the day, and they broke the transfer.
Yeah, they did.
They did it a lot.
They say they didn't spend as much.
Yeah, they spent a lot back then.
Well, he kept over 20 odd Premier League clean sheets under Westerveld, by the way, in that season. So look, we're all going to have a vote each, and whoever has the most votes.
Can I start because
mate? Yeah.
You two are more in depth than I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to go Schmeichel because it's all I've ever known for like Premier League greats, and I'm not just talking just this generation.
I think that if we look back at everything that we have just spoken about, I don't think we can pick anybody else.
Yeah, I think the trophy cabinet on its own.
I think the cabinet on its own.
Yeah.
The demeanour of the man himself, everything that you read about him and his presence and his leadership.
Yeah.
We'd be fucking stupid not to have Schmeichel.
I feel like you've got someone else there, James, and just do fire away with it, mate, because.
Well,
I'd rather us all. I don't want us all to agree on someone.
Yeah.
This is the whole point in this.
I feel like
it's going to be our team.
Yeah,
but I think, look, I like the contributions of Nigel Martyn and David Seaman because they played for lesser clubs, but come within 3 to 4% less than Schmeichel. And in a game of fine margins in the Premier League, 2s and 3s and 4% is the difference between up there and greatness. And in the words of the great Mike Tyson, every head must bow, everybody must succumb to someone of a higher power and a higher greatness. And for me as a Liverpool fan, I have to sit here and I have to say it, and I have to be bloody boring. I have to say that Peter Schmeichel for me is the number one goalkeeper, unrivaled in the Premier League from 1992 to 2000.
Like we said, if it wasn't for that trophy cabinet, it would be a
It'd be
lot.
good.
It would
It'd
be
be
a better
tighter.
It would be a better
Seaman and
conversation
Martin
as
are
well.
bloody good understudy. So
That 99 treble.
So we're all under agreement that our first player
Yeah.
for our 11 for the 90s is Peter Schmeichel.
we can do one for the bench, and it's going to be out of Martin and Seaman. I'm going to go David Seaman.
Yeah, I'm going to go David Seaman.
But then
I'm
again,
a Leeds fan, so I'm going to go Nigel Martyn.
Do you know what? I'm going to say
David
no.
Seaman is a Leeds fan and he is a Leeds boy.
But I am going to say this.
Win-win.
I'm going to say this. Nigel Martyn spent the majority of his career as a bloody good understudy, stepping at a moment's notice. So
I feel like it has to be.
So it's going to have to be Nigel Martyn.
Yeah. I'm going to go David Seaman.
Yeah.
But okay, he likes fishing and he likes Leeds, so he likes two very boring things.
Yep, absolutely. And he also talks a lot like this. No, nice guy though, David Seaman.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go Nigel Martyn.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll let you have a Leeds player on the bench.
We'll have a Leeds player. We need some sort of Leeds player. We're probably not going to get many in the 90s.
Have him on the bench.
So that concludes the very first episode of Memory Lane on the Stanchion podcast. The next one that we're going to do, we're going to have a look at the right backs.
We're going to go with right backs. Yeah, I think we can look over the 90s sort of period. There's some good players that we can deep dive into.
Good players.
I do think this is going to be a little bit more of a diverse opinions because with the Goldies, we were kind of slim.
Unrivaled.
And then what we'll do is over the next couple of episodes.
It's only going to get better.
It could do, yeah.
Looking at it,
yeah.
The further we go, it's only going to get better.
And what we'll do is we'll pop it up as a little screen and
we'll put the poll up as well. Who do you think should be the number one goalkeeper? And in true 90s style, I'll sign off with the track that really you just said things can only get better, where it goes, things can only get better, can only get better.
Yeah, well, I'll clip it up.
Okay, clip it up. All right.
I hope it gets better.